So, an investor buys Bitcoin 4 separate times, every single time at the exact peak. Down 85%, down 84%, down 77%, down 50%. Today, he is up almost 1,400%. May 2013. A man in Germany types a 20-character password to protect $4,000 of Bitcoin. He forgets it. 11 years later, the same wallet is worth $3 million. December 2021. An NFT trader in the US means to type 75 ETH. He types 0.75. $250,000 vanishes in a single click. Welcome to SEA Daily Buzz. Today, 3 people who made every wrong move in crypto and somehow still ended up rich, ended up broke, or ended up somewhere the market decided for them. This first story is not about one person. It is about a math problem so cruel that a well-known finance author, Alberto Artasanchez, turned it into a viral post to promote his book, Bitcoin for the Long Game. A thought experiment, but the numbers he uses are 100% real. Meet the hypothetical unluckiest Bitcoin investor alive. He buys Bitcoin exactly 4 times. Every single time he picks the exact top of the cycle. Not close to the top. Buy number 1, December 2013. He puts in $1,000 at $1,150 per coin. Within 12 months, Bitcoin crashes 85%. Buy number 2, December 2017. Another $1,000, $19,700 per coin. This time the crash is 84%. Buy number 3, November 2021. Same $1,000, $69,000 per coin, down 77% within a year. Buy number 4, October 2025. Another $1,000, $126,000 per coin. By early 2026, he is down 50%. 4 buys, $4,000 total. Every entry, catastrophic timing. Today, Bitcoin is trading around $64,800. Do the arithmetic. He holds almost 0.94 Bitcoin. That is worth roughly $61,000 from a $4,000 cost basis, up almost 1,400% by doing every single thing wrong. The reason this parable hits so hard is that there is a real-world version. His name is Peter McCormack, British, former ad agency owner. In January 2017, he takes about $6,400, buys Bitcoin at around $600 per coin. Within weeks, he is all in, 23,000 pounds, about $30,000. By late 2017, at the exact top, his portfolio hits $1.2 million, 150 coins. Real money in a real bank account. Then 2018 happens. Bitcoin bleeds out, and McCormack does the thing the parable investor never did. He sells, on the way down, piece by piece. In an interview with The Guardian, he describes it in one line, quote, "That's my attitude throughout the last year as the value of Bitcoin continued to fall. Almost everything that had accumulated was annihilated. $1.2 million, gone. Back to what one crypto site called pretty much zero after tax." Around the same time, Masayoshi Son, the founder of Japan's SoftBank and one of the richest men in Asia, quietly does the same trade. Buys near the 2017 top, panics in early 2018, loses $130 million. So here is the math the parable is really doing. The parable investor puts in $4,000, times it perfectly wrong, refuses to sell, and ends up at plus 1,400%. Peter McCormack, a real human, puts in $30,000, times it perfectly right, sells on the way down, and ends up at roughly zero. Masayoshi Son, one of the richest men in Asia, times it wrong, sells at the wrong time, and loses $130 million. The lesson is not buy the top. The lesson is that in an asset that 4x'd twice in a decade, the timing of your buy matters less than one single decision, whether you flinch. April 14th, 2013, somewhere in Germany. A man we will call Michael, because that is the only name he ever gave, moves 43.6 Bitcoin into a fresh software wallet on his laptop. At the time, that is worth roughly 4,000 euros, about $5,300 US. He is paranoid about being hacked, about someone getting into his machine. So he does what every security guide told you to do in 2013. He uses a password manager called RoboForm to generate a 20-character password. Uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. Then, because he does not trust RoboForm to store it either, he saves the password inside a separate encrypted file using another program called truecrypt, belt and suspenders. Then the truecrypt file corrupts, the password is gone, the Bitcoin is not. Michael can literally see the coins sitting in the wallet. He just cannot open it. For about 10 years, he does nothing. Bitcoin goes up, then up more, then up so much he has to stop looking. Eventually, he tries to hire someone. First person he calls is Joe Grand. Real name, hacker handle, Kingpin, old school. Boston kid, was in the legendary hacker group L0PHT in the 90s. Testified to the US Senate under his handle. Later hosted a Discovery Channel show called Prototype This. Now runs a lab called Grand Idea Studio in San Francisco. Grand says no. Michael calls every other cryptography expert he can find. All of them say the same 3 words. No, there's no chance. Then, in mid-2023, Michael goes back to Joe Grand. This time, Grand says yes. He teams up with a German partner named Bruno. They spend months tearing apart old versions of RoboForm. They find something buried in the code. Every password RoboForm generated before 2015 was seeded, in part, by the computer's own date and time. Which means if you know roughly when the password was created, you can hijack the software into thinking it is that day again. And it will spit the same password back out. They aim it at Michael's window. March 1st to April 20th, 2013. 20 characters. Upper, lower, digits. 8 special characters. Nothing. They shift the window. April 20th to June 1st. Same settings. Nothing. Grand goes back to Michael. Digs up other passwords Michael generated around the same period. He finds 2 of them do not use special characters at all. So they redo the entire attack with a modified parameter. May 15th, 2013. 4:10 and 40 seconds p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. The password hits. Grand quotes it later. We ultimately got lucky that our parameters and time range was right. If either of those were wrong, we would have continued to take guesses in the dark. By November 2023, the recovery closes. Bitcoin is at $38,000 a coin. Grand and Bruno take their fee in Bitcoin. Hand the rest of the password back to Michael. Michael's 43 coins are now worth roughly $1.7 million. Here is the part Michael himself says out loud to Wired reporter Kim Zetter. Quote, "That I lost the password was financially a good thing, because if he had held the password all along, he says, he would have sold at $40,000 per coin, easily, maybe earlier. He does not sell right away. He waits. Bitcoin hits 62,000. He trims a piece, still holds 30 coins. Today, those 30 coins are worth around $1.9 million. He is waiting, publicly, for 100,000 a coin. The password loss saved him from himself. Meanwhile, RoboForm's manufacturer, Cybersystems, quietly patched the flaw in version 7.9.14, released June 2015. They have never told a single customer about the original bug. Joe Grand checked his own password manager after the case. 935 stored passwords. 220 of them were generated before 2015. Somewhere out there right now, someone else's wallet is one lucky software bug away from opening. Saturday, December 11th, 2021, peak NFT mania. A trader who goes by Max, handle maxnaut on Twitter, is sitting at his laptop listing NFTs on OpenSea. He owns Bored Ape Yacht Club, number 3547. A cyborg ape with X's for eyes, rare eye trait. At the time, the floor price of any Bored Ape is around 52 Ethereum, about $200,000 for the cheapest one in the collection. Max means to list it for 75 Ethereum, roughly $300,000. He types 0.75. He sees the mistake instantly. His hand is still on the mouse. He goes to click cancel. Too late. A sniping bot, an automated program that scans OpenSea for underpriced listings 24/7 DUA, has already flagged the listing. In the same block, that bot submits a transaction and it pays 8 full Ethereum in gas fees. About $34,000 just to jump the line ahead of every other bot and every other human. The trade confirms. The bot now owns a rare Bored Ape it just paid $2,989 for. Max's own words in an interview later, quote, A lapse of concentration, I guess. I list a lot of items every day and just wasn't paying attention properly. I instantly saw the error as my finger clicked the mouse, but a bot sent a transaction with over 8 ETH of gas fees, so it was instantly sniped before I could click cancel. And just like that, $250,000 was gone. Within minutes, the bot relists the ape for $248,000. Someone buys it, about 59.99 ETH, roughly $230,000. Then that new buyer relists at 85 ETH, around $320,000. The community has a name for what happened to Max, a fat finger error. On Wall Street, it usually means a bond trader hits an extra zero. Same thing, different market, same result. Max is unusually calm about it. To Rolling Stone, UK, he says, quote, "The industry is so new, bad things are going to happen whether it's your fault or the tech." To CNN, "I harbor no ill will towards the botter. That's just part of the game." Then, a line worth stopping on. The brilliance of the blockchain showcases both its honesty and its lack of mercy. Max is not the only one that year. In January 2022, a collector known as cchan.eth lists Bored Ape number 835 for 115 DAO, that is $115 DAOs instead of 115 Ethereum. Loss, $391,000. Same week, someone lists a mutant ape for 25 DAI, $25. Same month, an OpenSea platform bug lets traders scoop more than $1 million of NFTs at old, stale prices. Now step back. Where did that anonymous sniping bot end up? Today, in 2026, the Bored Ape floor price is around 8.2 Ethereum, roughly $15,600, down more than 90% from the peak, which means Max's story flips a second time. If the bot had held that ape, it would be sitting on a paper loss. But the bot did not hold. It flipped inside minutes for roughly 230,000 real US dollars at a moment when the entire NFT market was still hot. The blockchain, exactly as Max said, has no mercy, but it also has no memory. It does not care who deserved the money, it only cares who clicked first. An imaginary investor who did everything wrong and ended up 1,400%. A real man in Germany who forgot his password for a decade and ended up a millionaire because of it. A trader who lost $250,000 to a decimal point, and a bot that walked away with it in less than a block. 3 stories, 3 completely different kinds of accident. But the pattern underneath them is the same. In this market, the person who ends up rich is almost never the person who was smartest. It is the person who, on purpose or by accident, could not sell. Michael could not sell for 11 years because his password was gone. The imaginary investor could not sell because the story required it. And the anonymous bot that took Max's ape only won because a human being, for 2 seconds, was faster than a machine. The wrong way. Peter McCormack could sell. Masayoshi's son could sell. Both of them did. Both of them lost. One lost $1.2 million. The other lost 130. For Southeast Asia, Manila, Jakarta, Ho Chi Minh City, Bangkok, Kuala Lumpur, this matters more than in most places. Currencies bend. Fees are high. Access is uneven. And the natural instinct when a chart moves is to touch it, to trim, to lock in, to be safe. The last decade of crypto suggests something quieter and much harder to do. Sometimes the winning trade is the one you did not make. Sometimes the smartest wallet in the room is the one you locked yourself out of. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every like, every subscribe, every notification you turn on genuinely helps us keep making these episodes. Multiple subtitle languages are on for our friends across Asia, and we drop new episodes every week. See you next time.